北京市经信局以防疫为幌子，推广监控和采集市民个人信息的健康宝。南海云谲波诡之际，日本媒体爆出安倍2016年未曾实施的穿越南海计划。中共官员正告澳洲，如澳洲不停止视中国为战略威胁，将不接电话，从战狼向鸵鸟的战略转变。强拆不需要掩饰，百姓不上访可获良民称号。黄基夫认为，实现器官捐献第一大国目标需要更多的医生、医院、器官捐献协调员等，而器官来源根本不在黄基夫考虑范围之内。为应对债务违约持续暴雷，刘鹤主持召开国务院金融委会议。香港财务司长称，第四波疫情来势汹汹，港府严阵以待。截止11月21日0时0分，香港新增43例新冠肺炎确诊病例，创3个月以来单日最高。11月20日，上海新增的2例新冠肺炎确诊病例为夫妻，妻子所在的医院4015人被隔离，2人生活的相关地区被列为中风险地区，连夜排查筛查对象8120人。上海疫情愈发严重。
12点钟之前全部做核酸检查。检测是什么工具啊？
封城了，进不让进，出不让出了。
停运呢，人都搁家了，现在就我这一个值班的搁这呢。反正我们接的通知就是疫情。头午好像8点多9点来钟那阵儿吧，发出的车都给撵回来了，都在家回家听信儿去。
俺这里辖区封城了啊，火车站不让进不让出了啊，都别来了，也都别出去了啊。
湖南永州职业技术学院学生死亡，家长拉横幅维权被暴力镇压。广东职业学院学生在校不明原因死亡，家长伤心欲绝，拉横幅维权遭校方冷处理。
今天上午，省政府新闻办举行新闻发布会，宣布最后8个深度贫困县退出贫困县序列。至此，我省75个贫困县已全部脱贫摘帽。
我省是全国脱贫攻坚任务最重的省份，全省共有75个贫困县。到2019年底，有67个县陆续摘帽退出。今年最后8个县经县级自评、市级初审、省级验收核查、第三方评估检查和省脱贫。
现在是6天后才开始恢复些，这个呢不是人工，我们投的时候这是针对了我们这个开工的一个实质。
对标所需，倾尽所能。东部协作4市累计投入我省财政援助资金89.66亿元，协作项目4400多个，为我省脱贫攻坚发挥了特殊作用。天津在环县。
香港黑警以警治港，以黑治港正在进行中。
while looking at anomalies that could have been caused by voting machines, they're relying a lot, the campaign, on statistical analysis, right? And that's something that we saw the president actually tweet about today and talking about what they will present to the court. Today, he talked specifically about Michigan, tweeting out this graph from Justin Hart and saying, we'll use these charts in our court case. The election was a hoax. Thank you, Justin. Now, if you look more closely in another chart at the data here, it says that this is another view of the Michigan data. The arching lines are total cumulative vote adding up for the candidates between Tuesday and Wednesday in the week of the election. Notice the normal jump when a batch comes in for 57% for Biden, and the abnormal jump when it comes in at 96% for Biden. That happened at the 6:30 a.m. mark, according to this statistician. So that's something that the campaign keeps pointing out. And as you said, those Pennsylvania lawmakers had hoped to present kind of information like this to Dominion voting systems, along with other questions that their voters, they say their taxpayers have, to assuage any concerns about them. However, in the 11th hour last night, these representatives decided to lawyer up and not show up for a hearing today, begging the question from lawmakers in Pennsylvania, what are they hiding?
You could present a lot of evidence, whether it's data evidence or physical ballot evidence, and they seem to not want to hear it. How do you break through that if and when that evidence is provided?
Yeah, we break through that by going to the courts. That's why they exist. It's the third branch of government, the justice system. We have 234 pages of affidavits in Michigan of voters in one county saying this is what I observed. We have voters in Pennsylvania saying I showed up to vote, was told I couldn't cast my ballot because there is a mail-in ballot that was cast on my behalf that wasn't cast by me. These are real claims. They're systematic claims. And our justice system is where that will play out. And that's something that the media cannot get in the way of. They can try to hide it, but the American people are smart. The 73 million people who showed up to vote for this president, the most ever votes for a sitting president, they have a voice. We will be heard. The Tea Party movement made their voice heard. The Trump movement is now making our voice heard again, and we don't need the media by our side. We can do it without.
This year, we marked the 75th anniversaries of the heroic Allied victories in World War II. Today, we remember a different kind of anniversary, the opening of the Nuremberg trials. The Nazis' war crimes and their atrocities in the concentration camps of the Holocaust can never be forgotten. As then, America remains vigilant, steadfast indeed, in upholding our highest ideals. We're grateful to our allies and partners who stand alongside us. Let's continue to learn the lessons of history and of Courtroom 600. Let's live up to the high standards of our nations established now 75 years ago. And let's speak out boldly against attacks on human dignity wherever we find them, be they the levels of evil of anti-Semitism and radical Islamic terrorism, or the Chinese Communist Party's repression in Xinjiang. Our work goes on. It's a privilege to do it alongside each of you.
Giuliani said there is not only evidence of fraud, but massive fraud in Wayne County, with many times the number of registered voters casting their ballots. The wildly contested battleground state, which Democrats have been calling for Joe Biden since election night, now appears to be up in the air, with odds favoring a Trump victory. So how did all this happen? Well, with ballot integrity under question in Michigan's most populous county, the two Republican members of Wayne's Board of Canvassers decided not to certify the vote on Tuesday. It was a huge decision, putting the state up for grabs again. But it also made the two Republicans, Monica Palmer and William Hartman, hugely unpopular among Democrats in the state. And what did the Democrats do? They proceeded to harass, intimidate, and even threaten the safety of Republican members, Palmer and Hartman, and their families, and even released information about where their children go to school. One woman at the meeting, Ashley Daniels, called them racists and went as far as threatening to come after their heads. Despite everything else that's going on, President Trump is still taking the time to call and check on the Wayne County canvassers and make sure they're okay. Chairwoman Monica Palmer says that President Trump reached out to her personally to make sure that she was safe after hearing about the threats and doxing against her and her family. Has Joe Biden called these canvassers to check and see if they're okay? No. He hasn't, because Joe Biden cares more about getting votes not if his people are intimidating and threatening innocent children to secure his victory.
There is more damning evidence in support of why Joe Biden amounts to a national security risk to this nation. China owns the man. That's my assessment. There is a reason we call him Beijing Biden. It's because it appears his allegiance is to his bank account over the American people. A supplement to the original Senate report on Biden's ties to communist China has now been released. And once again, it paints a very troubling picture. Senate investigators describe confidential records allegedly showing that a pair of $3 million wire transfers, a pair of them, were deposited in a Robinson Walker bank account back in 2017 by Shanghai-based State Energy HK Limited. You may remember the name Robinson Walker. He is the Biden business associate who whistleblower Tony Bobulinski claims can be heard on a phone call with him, warning Bobulinski not to go public about their business affairs with Hunter Biden.
The rest of this is just noise. You get diverted so easily. They want you to do that. What do you think this stuff is happening? Fox News today calls the Donald for the win a cyber criminal, guys, because you posted data in Wisconsin. Guess what? That's just more evidence that's coming out. They're trying to divert your attention by the shiny pony. Do not go to the noise. Stay on the signal. This is one of the most important times until now to December 14th in American history. And it's not Rudy, it's not Sidney Powell, it's not Steve Bannon, it's not Boris Epstein, it's not Matt Schlapp or Adam Laxalt. Yes, they're all players in this drama, but it's you, it's on your shoulders. If you're immovable, we will close on this victory. But the way to be immovable is focus on what's important and stop with the inter-squad scrimmage stuff. This is every day is game day here. We can't scrimmage. You can't be talking. Go read the New York Times article. Tucker Carlson was heroic to put Dr. Yan on twice. Let's get the New York Times article up. I want everybody to read the New York Times article. They're in meltdown. You know why they're in meltdown? They go, the right-wing media guys like Bannon comboed with the diaspora of China. What do you hear every day? The deplorables and la Beijing. Deplorables and la Beijing and Gilets jaunes and the guys in India. That's what they're afraid of. That's what's going to stop the reset. Will you get focused and stop focusing on the little, like you're in junior high school gossip? Oh, did you see Tucker last night? You see what Tucker did? It was so terrible. Stop it. I'm tired of it. We're in a fight right now. We don't have time or energy to get diverted. Combination was a buried lead in the New York Times. Combination of the deplorables with real information, the diaspora of China, the Lao Beijing, old 100 names with real information. Guess what it's going to do? It's going to take down the Chinese Communist Party. It's going to break the back of the business model of the reset. Everybody, why are you talking about Matt Gaetz? Why aren't you talking about this and that and that? Grow up. Hold the line. Holding the line is not gasping. Did you hear what happened in third period today? Did you hear what they said? Did you hear what Sally said about you? She passed a note. Grow up. We're in a war right now. See that senator just gets on the plane? You think that's easy walking through that? When he comes back, how big is the crowd going to be? What are they doing to terrorize his kids? You saw the thing in Michigan the other day, right? They doxed the woman in the meeting, said where her kids went to high school. There are people that are putting their lives on the line. And we need you to focus. You're the key, not us, not Tucker, not Sidney Powell, not Rudy Giuliani, not the hair and makeup people at the press conference yesterday, right? It's you. Raheem Kassam.
Hi.
Hey.
I agree, by the way. The last things
And also people say, well, I don't care if I'm popular. I don't care if you like me. I'm not here to be liked. I could care less. If you like me, hate me, whatever. Just go to the information. Just go to the information. It's you. You're the only things important. Collectively, the deplorables. They understand your problem. Why are they trying to destroy Donald Trump? It's not for Donald Trump, quad Donald Trump. It's because of you. Why do you think they're trying to crush us all the time? It's because of you. So man up. Okay, Raheem.
Look, one of the last things I said last night about it was that in amongst all of the fussing that people were doing, at least it was, hey, I think this sucked. Hey, I think this didn't suck. Okay, have a nice time. Good night. Right? And that's the end of it. It's a new day. We move on to new detail. And here's some detail for you.
Okay, give it to me.
Let's go through this, because this is a really important story. Hasn't got enough traction yet, but the guys at Just the News have done an amazing job writing it up. John Solomon, Daniel Payne over at Just the News have an article up about a sworn statement from a prominent mathematician which has flagged up to 100,000 Pennsylvania ballots that may not have been counted in Republicans' favors. Now, let me walk you through this. This is a declaration, a sworn declaration under penalty of perjury from a professor of mathematics, Stephen J. Miller, Ph.D.
Yale University.
Received his B.S. in mathematics and physics from Yale University in 1996, his Ph.D. of mathematics from Princeton in 2002.
Wow.
Professor of mathematics at Williams College, but obviously making this in a personal capacity. What Professor Miller did is, using this data from Matt Brainerd's team, is go through phone bank data provided regarding responses to questions relating to mail ballot requests, returns, and related issues. So effectively, people were called and asked, was this you? Did you mail this ballot in? Was your vote counted? And I'll go through some of the detail with you in just a second, but the top lines of this story: estimate of ballots requested in the name of a registered Republican by someone other than that person, 40,875 to 53,909. That's his estimate.
Give that one again slowly.
So the estimated number of ballots that were requested in the name of a registered Republican by somebody who was not that person, 40,875 to 53,909. That's the estimate that they're pulling out from this data.
That's signal.
That's the first signal.
That's signal.
Here's the second signal. The estimate number of Republican ballots that the requester returned but were not counted, between 48,522 and 44,892. These go in the opposite order as previous. So Professor Miller is saying that the total number of ballots that were either requested by somebody other than the registered Republican or requested and returned but not counted ranges between 89,397 and 98,801.
Wow. So what does that tell me?
Well, it tells you we need an audit, a full audit.
共产主义的魔鬼黑道主义，它不可能再延续下去。它有两个致命伤。第一个，信息时代来了，它的所有的过去都将一天又一天的被揭发出来。还有一个，它对人民的压制和统治和洗脑，相反，这永远是作用力和反作用力。它有多洗脑，他有多么的压制，一朝那个墙塌的时候就不可收拾，所以他只能靠什么生存？他只能靠全世界最大的这个国家在长期的输入他的金钱，支撑他高压的强的维稳。在美国，他想做，这就是最后一战了，终极之战，他肯定做不到，做到人类美国就全完了。那咱着啥急呀？那咱就真的是皇帝不急太监急，咱着什么急呀？是吧？所以说他俩的对决，现在是恶占上风，恶不占上风，这个正是赢不了的。在人类的历史上，永远是恶一度时间是占上风，是赢家的，最后是正的力量永远是反应慢的，永远是被动的，永远是劣势的。甚至是危险的，但最后是 只有这样，在危机之中，啪，最后1分钟才把它赢了，永远是这样。啊，就是黑夜越黑，黑的越黑的时候，叭，天亮了，太阳才会照得更亮。啊，太阳是一定会出来的。啊，太阳一定会照夜黑暗，黑暗不可能照亮太阳。
加拿大最大的城市多伦多将从周一开始封锁至少28天，以遏制病毒的蔓延。美国的感染病例数已超过1200万。由于中国城市的病毒感染激增，香港和新加坡推迟了他们的无检疫航空旅游方案。香港在周六记录了43例新增感染，这是3个月以来最大的每日跃升。美国食品和药物管理局周六发布了针对再生源制药公司的冠状病毒抗体疗法的紧急使用授权。Moderna 的首席执行官告诉媒体，该公司的疫苗收费为25至37美元。20国集团领导人承诺为公平分发疫苗提供资金支持，以帮助最贫穷的国家。英国与加拿大签署贸易协议，以为脱欧做准备。
Dear mama, are you okay over there? Your son is crying and missing you, and sees you in his dreams. You sent Jake down to CCP, cause it's God's will, it's God's will. So I'll wait for you, and I'll see you when we end the CCP, yeah. So